Hello and welcome to this week's Realty Talk Show. Having a home built can be a bit of a nightmare. Just ask anyone who's done it. With a builder comes missed deadlines or potential missed deadlines, cost blowouts, misunderstandings, little or no communication and so on. Okay, so maybe we should do it ourselves as an owner builder. I mean, what can go wrong? We see therein lies the problem, because most owner builders don't know what they don't know. Just ask a tradie. There must be a better way. And there is. It's called Build Buddy. And we'll talk to the creator of Build Buddy and an owner builder who is using it right now. That's up shortly. But just before we start, I want to thank our supporters and content partners Realty, BMT Tax Depreciation, Know How Property Finance, Get Rare Property and Apiro Marketing. Now, if this is your first time with us, welcome. We hope that you're going to enjoy the show. And don't forget too that you can find us on all podcast players and through the Southern Cross Oz Stereo Network. Now, if you like the show, certainly hope that you do, please hit that subscribe button. Help us to continue to bring you the very best guests every week. You too can join the conversation anytime on Facebook by going to the Property Hub Collective. You'll find that easily in Facebook. It's called the Property Hub Collective. We'll be back in just a moment as we kick off this week's show.
Property deductions can save you thousands of dollars each year. To make sure you maximise deductions, you need to work with the most experienced quantity surveyor in the country. BMT Tax Depreciation is the leading specialist in the industry. They've completed over 700,000 tax deduction schedules for residential investment and commercial properties Australia-wide. BMT guarantee to find double your fee in the first full financial year deductions. Call BMT on 1300 728 726 today for an obligation-free quote.
Realty Talk from Property Hub on all podcast players.
As I said in the introduction, the way we build a home today could arguably be broken. The desire to find a better way is what drove Danny Asabgi to develop Build Buddy. Now, interestingly, Danny is a builder himself, and he runs a successful building company, as you're going to learn. Danny set out to find a better way, and he created the Build Buddy platform, which offers an intelligent and unique approach to residential building, enabling anybody to control the quality, progress and budget on their residential project. Danny joined me recently to talk about Build Buddy. Hey Danny, welcome to the show. Good to be talking to you.
Thank you for inviting me today, Kevin.
Yeah, we're going to dig a bit into the platform, Build Buddy, get some details of that shortly. But firstly, can I just tell you, why did you do it? And what experience do you bring that's allowed you to build Buddy?
Okay, I guess that's a great question to start with. So before I get into why I created the Build Buddy platform, let me tell you a little bit about my experience in the building industry, as I think that will actually give us a good segue into why I created the Build Buddy platform. Now, other than being the CEO and founder of Build Buddy, you might find it funny to know that I'm also the CEO and founder of Hudson Homes. You may know Hudson Homes, a major Australian home building company that I guess before the current slowdown was doing 500 plus homes a year. We were recently named the 2023 Australian Professional Builder of the Year by the HIA, the Housing Industry Association. And I've personally been in the building industry at a senior level for more than 20 years. In 2016, I was also named the Australian Executive of the Year for the building and construction industry by CEO magazine. Now, I mention these points not to blow my own trumpet, but rather that I think it's fair to say that I've got a good understanding of the entire home building process, what works, what doesn't, as well as having some, I guess, firsthand experience on how I believe it can be improved, not just the process, but the entire industry as well. And that's why I said it was funny, because I'm a professional builder running a major home building company. I built thousands of homes for Australians over the past 10 years, but I've also created a software platform that's now encouraging Australian families to build their own home without engaging a builder.
Yeah, so, isn't that a conflict of interest?
Well, if you let that sink in for a moment, it's not necessarily a conflict of interest. It's a completely different direction, isn't it? It's when I first mentioned the concept of Build Buddy to my colleagues in the industry, they thought I'd gone nuts. But the building industry had gone through some of the biggest price increases and challenges that certainly I've ever experienced. And customers were paying, I don't know, 30, 40% more to build their homes. Customers were frustrated, builders were failing all around us. And the rising cost of living meant that affordability and value for money was becoming even more important than it had ever been. And I thought the building industry hasn't changed in I don't know, more than 75 years. And there had to be a better way. And it had to be a technology-based solution that really, a solution that really puts the customer back in control, one that eliminates the needs for multiple levels of management, and a way to pass on all those savings directly to the customer. So essentially, it was a way of cutting out the builder. Now, the concept of owner building is not a new one. I don't know, it's been around for like forever. And I don't know what the exact statistics are, but something like 18,000 owner builder applications are made every year in Australia. So there's a big segment of that market that's not really being looked after. And I agree that nobody likes dealing with the owner builder. And it's not just the trades that don't like dealing with them. It's the banks, it's the suppliers, it's even the real estate agents. And the reason I believe is generally owner builders don't know what they're doing.
Actually, precisely, they don't know what they don't know. I mean, it seems easy to think, oh, I'll go and do this, and I guess that's why a lot of people do actually go down the owner builder road. But I just wonder, sorry to interrupt you there, but while we're on the same train here, who did you build this for? Because I know that not everyone wants to be an owner builder, because a lot of people realise how difficult it can be. So who is your target market here?
Well, you would think it would naturally be the owner builders. And the owner builders would, I guess, by default, use this. But I didn't actually build a platform for them. And like I said, even though they're certainly going to be the most obvious use of the platform, I actually designed it for the school teacher, police officer, husband and wife looking to build their dream home, wanting to take control of the process, being able to save 20% or in some cases even more off the cost of building their home. That's who the app has been specifically designed for, people with little to no experience. Now, it's obviously not going to be for everybody. And there is a role that still exists for certain homes or certain people to delegate the entire task to a builder. But there's certainly a big chunk of the market that would be suitable for a platform like this. There's actually two platforms. So there's Build Buddy, that's the one for the homeowners, and then there's Build Buddy Pro, and that's for the suppliers, the consultants, and the contractors. And they both work hand in hand. One connects to the other, kind of like Uber and Uber Driver, I guess. So it's built for the entire building industry, homeowner included.
Okay, let me ask you another question now. You mentioned how big the owner builder market is. I think 18,000 applications you said a year or something like that.
Something like that.
How have you tested this? Do you know what the market size is going to be for Build Buddy?
I'm going to make a prediction, but I'm going to say that more houses will be built in Australia through Build Buddy in 5 years' time than through any major builder.
That's a prediction, but have you, like Build Buddy's operating now, can you give me an example of any like popular stats? How's it being picked up by consumers?
So we ran it as a small pilot program launching at the end of last year. So I wanted 10 customers that came onto the platform purely for free as a pilot program, just to give me feedback. And I promised them that I was going to hold their hand through the whole process, and I would have my team at Hudson Homes support them and everything else. So I wanted to start with 10 customers. We got the 10 customers at one home show in Sydney, and we're working through them through the whole process. To give you an idea of the size of the market, on Sunday night, there was a 5-minute segment on TV that interviewed one of the people going through that pilot program. And within 48 hours, 730 people had downloaded the app. 568 had validated that they were real people. Off those 568, I can't remember the exact number, but it's around 158 people uploaded their projects onto Build Buddy. And been inundated in the past 48 hours, getting back to all these people. But it kind of runs itself now. So the app has been completed. It's got so many functionality and so many features that it can stand on its own 2 feet. So that was in the last 48, 72 hours. And that has really, really reassured us that what we're building, there is a big segment of the market that wants to build their dream home. They know they've been priced by builders. They don't trust builders. I mean, this morning I woke up to the news of 2 more builders collapsing, one that's been around for 50 plus years and another one that had $120 million in pipelines. These aren't small businesses. These are major builders who are struggling. Hudson Homes has struggled in the last 3 years. I mean, ever since COVID came along, we increased our sales dramatically, but at fixed price contracts at the old pricing. So all builders are doing it tough and people don't want to take that risk anymore.
Yeah, there's so much that goes into building a home, and I've looked at your website, by the way. I'll just give that, we'll throw it up on the screen, buildbuddy.au, sorry, buildbuddy.au. Now, I've had a look at the site. You clearly state there that there's so much that goes into it, like planning, budgeting, getting suppliers and quotes, scheduling tradies, tracking progress, knowing what to look for. And that's a key thing, isn't it? Making payments and keeping track of finances. Now, all of these things have been built into it. How much of that did you discover in that first 10 that you tested it with? I mean, was it shaped out of that, or did you have a fairly good feel when you first built it?
When I first came up with the concept of Build Buddy, I started flow charting. I thought to myself, it's not apps that build homes, right? We all know that. It's people that build homes. And if you really think about what a builder does, a builder adds value in 3 ways, essentially, in broad terms. They have a workflow. So they've got a step-by-step process that they follow to coordinate and manage a process of building a home. Secondly, they've got contacts. So they've got established supplier relationships. They've got a network of consultants and contractors who actually do the work. And thirdly, you would hope that they've got some type of quality assurance or safety protocols as well. Now, when I first started, I mapped all this out on an A1 sheet of paper of every step in the building process that we did at Hudson Homes and all the things that could possibly go wrong. By the time I was done, I ended up with 9 A1 sheets of paper. They're on the floor in my office here, and I looked at it, and I thought, forget it. This is way too hard. And I folded it, and actually, I'll show you. This is in my drawer here. This is one of the sheets that shows you what I came up with. I don't know if you can see that, but I've got and then I met my co-founder, Vince. And Vince, I've known Vince ever since school, actually. And he was a software engineer. He'd done some senior work at CSIRO. I showed him this idea, and he said, mate, this is brilliant. He says, and when COVID came, he says, why don't we just get started? I thought, okay. I said, how long will it take? He said, probably a few $100,000 and 6 months. We've put in over $4 million now, and it's been 2.5 years. But what we ended up with was something that just became better and better. It's got a full banking app in it. We're trying to change the way that people transact. Tradespeople are the ones that cop it when the builder goes bust. On our platform, that's impossible to happen. So we protect both sides. We protect the consumer, not handing over money. It's all done through digital trust accounts, digital wallets. So we're using technology in such an advanced way that we've taken every process in the building process, and we have used a digital tech-based approach to every single step.
Quite amazing. Let me ask you now, what's the cost of this for someone who wants to come on? You said there's 700 people came on and downloaded the app. I imagine, is the app free, by the way?
It is 100% free for the consumer, the person building the home. We're paid a referral fee by the service providers on the platform. So when you find our platform to get a quote from an engineer, the price you get from the engineer is the same price that they would offer at Hudson Homes. And when I started building that side of the platform, the first people I went to were my trade base at Hudson Homes. Many of them have been with me for 10 years plus. I know the quality of their work, and my deal to them was this: I'm going to feed you so much more business through Build Buddy, but what I want you to do is treat them with the same level of quality, the same level of service, and the same pricing you offer me as a major builder. They've done it.
Yeah, well, I was going to ask you then how you make money out of this, but now I know. And those trusted suppliers and tradies that you mentioned, are they selected purely on your own experience with them?
At this stage, it is a closed marketplace. So because we don't charge them a subscription fee, our motivation is not to build that like some of the other platforms that are out there where you can find a tradie and things like that. We are not interested in that. What we are interested in doing is building a curated marketplace of verified tradespeople that only service the major building industry. You won't ever find somebody to hang a picture or hang a door on my platform. You will find a large business that does electrical work and are professional. The best thing about this is this is the first website that exists where you actually rate the tradie. Now, people rate builders all the time, and I give all my customers at Hudson Homes my personal phone number. You can walk into any of my display homes. There'll be a sheet of paper in there with my head on it, and it says, here's my email address, and here's my personal mobile number. And people call. And I want them to call me because there's 150 things that go wrong when you're building a home, whether you're doing it yourself or whether you're doing it as a builder. But my attitude is what the company does when those things go wrong. So I want to hear about it. So I get a phone call right on that phone right there from a customer 3 years ago. And he rings me up, says, Danny, I'm such and such a customer, building a house on the Central Coast. He goes, Hudson Homes. He goes, you guys are the worst painters. So I explained to him about how we, contract to a painter and so on and so forth. And he sent me a few pictures and I had to agree with him. Job wasn't the best. So I ring up Barry, our painter on the Central Coast. And I say, Barry, come on, mate, what's going on here? Sorry, Danny, I'll let you down. I'll be out there on Wednesday to fix it. So I ring up the customer. I say, Barry will be there on Wednesday. Anyway, didn't hear anything further. On Friday, email comes in, Hudson Homes 1-star review. They lie. They don't care about it. Their painting quality is crap. I ring up Barry. I said, Barry, mate, what happened? He goes, Wednesday. He goes, yeah. He goes, oh, mate, surf was up. Honest to God, true story. Surf was up. So here I am as a builder, caring about my customer. The tradesperson, and this is very sad for me to say, but over the past 15 years, the quality of tradesmanship in Australia and the care factor has declined. Now, the customer engages directly with the trade and they review the trade. So over time, the marketplace will determine who stays on the platform and who stays off. And my message to the tradespeople is this: if you treat my customers on the Build Buddy platform well, and you're a framing carpenter and you're charging $12,000 because you've got 55-star reviews, and your next person is charging $2,000 less, but they got crappy reviews, they're going to go and pay the extra money for you. Especially now, they're not paying a builder's margin. So this is not just about saving money, it's about building a better quality home. Now, people often say to me, well, you need a builder, they're experienced and so on. We haven't ignored that fact. Every single customer gets what we call a construction buddy. A construction buddy is a licensed builder acting in the capacity of a site supervisor. But the dynamic of the relationship now has changed. They work for you. They're rated by you. They report to you. And this could be somebody who is a young guy who wants to build his business and really look after customers and look after 20 customers at a time. Or it could be a really experienced builder who is towards the end of their career, maybe at 55 years of age. He wants to spend more time, coaching his son's football team and just really looking after 3 or 4 customers. And he might charge them, $25,000 to build the house for them, turns up each day, does the quality assurance checklists. So it's created a marketplace for people that, Uber drivers didn't exist before. There's no such thing as an Uber driver. Same thing with construction buddies. We're creating a whole new dynamic to it. And that's the secret sauce. The secret sauce that enables the police officer and the school teacher to build their own home without a builder is to still give them a builder, but change the dynamic of the relationship.
Danny, I love your passion. I love your product. I said to you or your associate that I really enjoyed looking at your website, looking at your video. By the way, there is a short video on the website. I'll mention that again now. It's buildbuddy.au. Go check that short explainer video. It runs for about 4 or 5 minutes, but it'll give you a great picture on how it can help you. Hey, Danny, we're going to have to leave it there, mate. Thank you so much.
I appreciate
what I'd like to do is talk to someone who's actually using Build Buddy right now, and we'll chase someone down with your help, and we'll have a talk to them in the show as well. So stay with us. It is called
as well. Sorry, Kevin, about that. We actually have a 67-year-old lady in Queensland. She's never built a house before. She's so excited about Build Buddy. She's navigating her own way through the entire pre-construction process, and she said to me in her own words, "If I can do this, anyone can," and I believe her. But yeah,
That's fantastic. I love it, mate. All the best. Big investment from you. It's a fantastic product. Buildbuddy.au. Danny, all the best, mate. Look forward to talking to you again real soon.
pleasure. Thank you, Kevin. Bye-bye.
Stay with us. After this short break, we're going to visit an owner builder who's using Build Buddy, and we'll join him on site. That's up.
Successful property investment is a game of finance. Do you have the right team and the right game plan? Realty Talk is brought to you by Know How Property. More than mortgage brokers, Bushy Martin and his team of investment architects set you up with a sustainable strategy structured to lower your costs, tax, risk and stress while increasing your capacity for growth. Know-how has helped over 1,900 homeowners and investors secure more than $800 million in property wealth. So get set to live more, work less, and live your legacy. Want to know how to invest in your freedom? Visit knowhowproperty.com.au.
This is Realty Talk, powered by realty.com.au.
And I mentioned just before the break that we'd be having a quick look at a person who's actually using Build Buddy, and he joins me now from Coomera in Queensland. Greg Lurie. G'day, Greg. How you doing?
G'day, Kevin. How you going, mate? I'm good,
Mate.
you?
I can see the Build Buddy in the background there. So, but I've just got a couple of key questions to ask you about. The decision for you to build yourself, was that made before you found Build Buddy or after?
Oh, it's an interesting question, Kevin. So we were going down the stream of the owner builder. So I got a quote through a builder, a custom builder, and it was just astronomical, the prices. It was a lot more than we thought it was going to be. And then we were umming and ahhing, do we cut a bit off the house or do we remove a few things just to reduce the costs so we could actually build? And then we started thinking about the owner builder route, started researching into that as much as I could. And then I put a post, funnily enough, on an owner builder forum on Facebook. And I was just a bit lost and I just wanted a bit of guidance and a bit of help. I reached out just if someone would know how to estimate build costs a bit better, and I was trying to sort of go down that stream. And then Danny from Build Buddy, who I'd never met before, just reached out and he said, I may have a program that's still in its infancy, but might be able to help you. So we started to chat, and it was actually exactly what I was looking for, because I'm not a builder. I'm not pretending to be a builder. I love learning, and I'm not afraid, to research and look into things. But yeah, Danny's program just sort of was exactly what I needed. So it was quite amazing how it lined up.
Well, that's good that you sort of answered my next question, which is what attracted you to it. But I can see the block in the background there. So have you started the project yet, or are you still in the planning stage?
So it's all through council. It's all approved, and it's all been scraped. I don't know if you can see. So it's been scraped, and then we've had the surveyor in. So he's marked it all out. So the next step is the piering. So I think it's 57 piers will go in, and then it's all the draining and a bit electrical and getting into it.
So you're pretty early in the stage, but I imagine there's been a lot that's happened already, getting council approval and so on. At this very early stage, has Build Buddy been able to help you through that? And is there something that you've learned that you might not have known about because of Build Buddy?
There's a lot I haven't known. And like I sort of touched on earlier, every time, I come up with a problem, then I've got to find answers to it. And the team up in Queensland for Build Buddy, because of my questions, I guess that sort of helps them in a way on what they need in the program. But they've been nothing short of fantastic. So I can phone them up with, which might be a silly question for them, but it's sort of a good question for me. So I ask them whatever, and they're fully accommodating to help me, get to the next step and the next step. And
Because when you're going through something like what you're going through, there is no such thing as a silly question. If it's a question for you, it's going to be a question that someone else will ask because they simply don't have that knowledge. Tell me, are you surprised by the number of things that are involved in building yourself?
I reckon I was a little bit naive as to so many processes and so many trades and everything that's involved in it. But I'm very process-driven sort of person, so I just break everything down into little steps and work out what I've got to do to achieve that, and then I'll move to the next one and the next one. And I'm taking a lot of notes on what I've done and who I've had to contact for certain things, and especially all the council requirements, what they need. So yeah, I so far I'm absolutely loving it, and I understand, and I'm fully aware that there's going to be hiccups along the way, but we'll just work through them and then go to the next step and just keep going forward till we got a house.
Yeah, fair enough, mate. Knowing what you know now, what do you see as the biggest advantage in using the app?
So there's probably two things. So the main thing, or one of the main things, is obviously the cost. So there's massive reductions. And like I said earlier, to be honest, we probably wouldn't have been able to build this house if it wasn't for Build Buddy to the size and the scale of what we're building.
Mm.
So that's probably one. And then I suppose the flexibility and not knowing what's going on in the building industry, that was another key factor that scared us. So we got a quote through another custom builder, and it was high. But then I sort of asked them, I said, what's the guarantees that you're going to be around to finish the house? And they said, we're looking to be around by then, but there's no guarantees. So it's a lot of money, and we were quite nervous about putting money into other people's hands because in this estate where we're building, there's two other Porter Davis houses that sat for, I'm just guessing, maybe 6 months just sitting at frame stage. So with this lease, I'm in a lot more control, especially with the money side of it. So, if I order something, then I receive it, or if I'm paying a trade for their work, then I know the work's been done.
There's a lot in behind Build Buddy that Danny and his team have built in to get the schedule on track for you with all the budgeting and so on. Have you got an estimate as to how long the construction's going to take you?
I haven't got that just as yet. So next week is the construction phase release of the app. So I've gone through all the selection phase. So I've completed everything for the selections, and I've got a BOQ, a bill of quantities, which outlines all the prices and the trades. So I know what the house is going to cost. And then next week we sit down and we go through all the construction phase of it. So that should be when I get the end date or approximate. And
you mentioned cost savings there, or savings on funds in the construction. I know it's early for you, but have you been able to estimate, how much you have saved in terms of time and money? And is that important, or is it the fact that you get a bit of peace of mind?
Well, it's definitely both. With the cost of living nowadays, if I can save money on anything, then I'll try to, because it's sort of better in my family's pocket than someone else's, I guess. So money is definitely a big factor. But I reckon it's easily over 200,000.
Wow.
Yeah, easily up to 200,000. Probably closer to 250,000, I reckon, we'll be saving. But it's early days. The house hasn't been built yet, so there's still a few sort of unknowns. Come back to me and we'll do an interview when there's a house behind me.
We'll do that. We'll actually we'll monitor how it goes with you, because we've been talking to Danny as well. But hey, Greg, all the best, mate. Thank you for joining us today. I appreciate you giving us the time to do this, and particularly since you're on site. So all the best, and we look forward to watching what happens, Greg.
I appreciate it, Kevin, and I'm excited as well.
Are you curious about harnessing your super for property investment? Propel your future with the enlightening online seminar, The Ultimate Masterclass to Self-Managed Super Fund Property Mastery. Reserve your spot now at getrare.com.au/SMSF. Spearheaded by Rusty from independent buyers agency Get Rare Properties, this masterclass unravels strategic property investment using your self-managed superannuation fund. You know, it's not just about learning, it's about transforming your financial future through education. So embrace this opportunity to enrich your investing acumen. Enroll now in the free masterclass and begin a journey that marries insight with action, leading to a financially empowered tomorrow.
Unlock bonus content now as a premium subscriber.
Well, that brings us to the end of this week's show. Make sure that you don't miss a single episode of Realty Talk or Bushy's Get Invested podcast, delivered to you each week. And you can do that by subscribing to the Property Hub now on your favourite podcast player or wherever you are listening to or watching this show. Join the conversation as well anytime on Facebook at the Property Hub Collective. I want to say a special thanks before I go to our supporters and content partners Realty, BMT, Tax Depreciation, Know How Property Finance, Get Rare Property and Apiro Marketing. I'm Kevin Turner, and on behalf of Bushy and the Property Hub team, we look forward to seeing you again next week.